Okay, so on the next job today, we are in Finham in Coventry. So we're on this Sunday edition of Why the Heck Did I Choose to Be a Plumber? We're doing an outside tap on this one. So thankfully the customers took everything out the cupboard, because you wouldn't believe people do call you to do jobs and they actually leave a fully stacked cupboard and then expect you to remove things and also put them back. But I'm hoping that that's where their main stop tap is. We can isolate the water, and it is an outside, straight outside job, so we're going to probably stick it around here. Sometimes people want a hot and a cold. It is just a cold on this one. Now, I'm not the cheapest for outside taps. I know people are doing them for ridiculous prices, and I've even had somebody almost get in some type of like debate with me on how much I'll charge, but it's down to what I feel the job is worth always. So let's get this done. I'll show you what I do different and how I do a job properly. So let's crack on. Okay, so I thought it might be interesting for people to see why a professional plumber would not charge 50-60 quid to do an outside tap. So if you see all the tools I genuinely are going to use to do this job, you know, and plus I've got my van outside. So obviously starting off, this is my tool bag. I always get that for any job. You never know what you're going to need. I've got pipe slices, grips, pastes, PTFE, everything for any job really. My soldering tray. We've got my soldering fittings, screws and raw plugs, etc. So obviously for any type of situation, we've got all my screws and fittings. I guess I'll open these up so you know, you can see. Oh look, I'm out of couplers, but hopefully I don't need a coupler on this job. But yeah, so straight away, this is what I've got. So I've got my drill and my impactor, so obviously to drill through, and obviously you know, I've got to screw things in, my wet towel and a little bowl to collect any water. I've got my silicone to fill in any holes, wipes, and obviously my copper tube to do the job. And then we've got the kit that we need. So we've got an outside tap pole. I always get the longer one because you know, the shorter one sometimes doesn't even fit through the back of these cupboards. So that's what I go for that. So it's basically it screws in the end, as you can see. We've got a standard outside tap here. Now this one doesn't have the non-return valve in. Sometimes they do. I choose not to have them with a non-return valve because they can freeze in a cold freeze like winter, and then your outside tap doesn't work and so on. So to save the phone calls for that, we've got our non-return valve or check valve, single check valve, to put on the inside. Now again, believe it or not, there are water regulations when it comes to doing any job really, when it's plumbing and especially outside taps. So we fit a non-return valve or a single check valve because to prevent cross-contamination or backflow of water. So the idea is, though, the water will pass through that way and it can't be sucked through that way. How it was kind of explained to us and showed by videos in college, that if the fire brigade or something, for example, let's say you've got your hose in something and things can be sucked through on the line, let's say by the fire brigade or whatever, or in any circumstance. So regulations to prevent backflow. I guess that's the easiest example that was kind of given us, and that's the one that I do remember. We've got an isolator, so we're going to be able to isolate the outside tap, whether they want to do that in the winter or it's just general good practice to put an isolation valve on anything that you use. So again, this is all the kit so far. Another problem that we've got so far is I was hoping that inside that hole here there would be a stop tap, and of course we can't find a stop tap. So for the past few minutes we've just been searching around the property, and again, thankfully the customer has emptied cupboards here, but we can't actually find where the outside stop tap is. So what we've had to do again, other problems that we come up against, you know, so carrying a stop tap key. So we've had to shut the water off in the road. Other problems are, can we actually get to it? So you can see that that one has, I mean, we can see the stop tap that is there, but obviously there are circumstances where you turn up the jobs, you know, you can't do it. I'm obviously going to close that just in case any people turn that on while I'm here. But again, you know, these are all situations, all tools that I have to carry, which I think justifies why I don't do a less than £100 stop tap. Sorry, outside tap job. So anyway, let's crack on with this job and get it done. I've definitely moaned enough on that one, but I think it's justified. A professional carries professional tools, and I think we deserve to charge a professional rate. Okay, again, now we're outside. I've just measured this properly, and where I want to do is I want to come through the mortar line, because obviously it's better to go through a mortar line. There's less disruption, cracking bricks, etc. If I can go through there with my pole, and again, that's about right. If I just imagine, you know, I'm average height, so I'm 5'10". Anybody would be around that to kind of just, you know, without bending the knees or anything, or at least putting a bucket over or whatever. I feel like that's a comfortable height. Obviously, practicality, and oh my gosh, my brain has not stopped, has still not kicked in after having this quite bad cold that I had about a week ago now. But anyway, again, it's all professionalism. It's all thought about every time I do one of these. I'm not a DIY person, so again. Okay, so we just drilled the hole. Another thing that I like to do is silicone around the back of the outside tap, sorry, before we put it in. So we use waterproof construction adhesive, which is AB1, to obviously seal around there to make sure no water can get through, as we obviously push through and seal that up. Okay, moment of truth, water is on. Just turn it on in the road. Jealous of this water pressure. I don't know what anybody else is like, but mine is rubbish at home. So it's all connected. I will obviously clean underneath that cupboard once we're done. So again, that's all the tools you kind of got to use, and then put it all away. And there we go. Now, forgive me if this has come across as a really preachy video, but I just making sure it's cold. It's cold because, believe it or not, we all make mistakes. Yeah, if this came across as quite preachy, it wasn't my intentions but sometimes I get a bit ticked off with people kind of, I guess, there's a budget out there for everyone, isn't there, for a job? But I had this one particular customer who asked me for an outside tap, I think last year, and ever since I gave him a quote, he basically was like, oh, is it a gold tap or something? And ever since I had this communication with him on Facebook, I mean, that's where I get my work through, word of mouth, social media, etc. And he's put laughing emojis on community pages where I get recommended. So somebody will put Aqualis Plumbing, and he puts a laughing emoji whenever I get recommended for anything. And it really, really, you know, it annoys me. At the end of the day, he's taking food away from my children's mouth and my, you know, my wife's mouth, family's mouths, etc. Because what, he didn't want to pay what I quoted. You know, if you didn't like it, you don't have to shop at Selfridges. I don't shop at Selfridges because, you know, again, I'm getting really, really ranty and preachy, guys, but this guy done my head in. And if he sees this video, perhaps he'll see actually what I do. And again, I fit quality stuff up to water regs, and this is all the stuff I use. I actually don't like fitting outside taps. I still think that what I charge doesn't justify the amount of tools and effort and things like that, you know, for this job, but I don't mind doing it for the right customer that appreciates me. So preach you on, guys, I'm very sorry. But anyway, I'm going to tidy up now and I'll show you quickly underneath the cupboard and I guess the finished clean job afterwards. Okay. Okay then, so there we go. Outside tap job done. There we go, isolator, single check valve or non-return valve, whatever we're going to call it, and obviously it goes through. Customer just said to me then, he overheard what I was saying with the, just let me out, no he hasn't. He was just saying then, oh what, that guy was moaning about your business, didn't even use you, weren't even it was just a quote, and I was like, yeah. So, you know, he was judging me. He's now judging me, putting laughing emojis and stuff like that. You know, stopping me at getting work when he hasn't even used me. You know, he just literally merely got a quote. But that's what we have to deal with. Again, so there you go, guys. Outside tap job done in Finham in Coventry. See you on the next one.